Wow, we've already got a big group here. It's early, but hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey. Welcome. So I think I know all of you, right?
Yep. On
Okay.
chat, on forum,
I'm sorry, who are you on the forum?
Shelley, controller.
Oh, yeah, okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, welcome, because I don't think we've done the chat thing here before. So I think that this is fantastic. And then Sharon, I know you from a long time ago, right?
You do.
Yeah, you're on the East Coast.
I am. I'm down in Florida.
You're down in Florida, that's exactly right. How are you and your husband doing, okay?
So, yeah, a lot better, thank you.
Good, good. I'm thrilled about that. How are you doing with your weight? Because you go through these spurts. It's really interesting. We've been working together for a long time.
I know.
I think you want this. I think you do. But then again, I don't know for sure because, you seem excited and you want to go for your goal and you've only got like 10 pounds to lose and you'll do great for like 3 pounds or 4 pounds and then you just give up. I'm not sure I understand.
What it is, Dr. Lewis, I'll be very honest.
Okay.
My husband doesn't know I'm doing this and I have to, it's very difficult. Like he's away at the moment. I've had a perfect day.
Okay.
I only had one Snickers bar. I can do it when I'm on my own. And if he knew I was doing this, he flips because he doesn't feel I need to lose weight. But
okay, so here's the situation then. Let's just play the end game. You're down 10 pounds. You're at your ideal weight. Or what's he going to say? How's he going to react? What are you hoping to do? Were you hoping to just have him come home with you and suddenly see you at this lighter weight and then have to deal with it? Or how were you going to explain it? I'm curious.
He thinks when he's haven't had bulimia before and, been in the clinic, he feels I have a sugar addiction, which I admitted to him years ago, which was what I was binging on. So when he sees if I'm eating a Snickers bar, he said, well, you shouldn't really be eating that. You should be eating something a lot healthier than that.
Well, obviously we know about this and we know about the science, so it really doesn't matter what you eat. Snickers bar I think is very confined. I think it makes it very regimented so that you're more likely to stick to the program because there's no cheating with the Snickers bar. You're not going to take an extra bite of it. So I think from that standpoint is perfect. All animals, all organisms thrive off of sugar, and we all get it in one form or another. If your form happens to be a Snickers bar, great. If it happens to be a piece of steak, fine. I don't really care what form it comes in. So that's not the issue. I think for me, more the issue is the finished product. Are you going to be comfortable 10 pounds lighter? You keep saying that's where you want to be, but then again, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know. For me, when I lost my weight, here's the thing. I started about 190. And when I wanted to get to 137, it wasn't even an issue. And I didn't care what my wife thought or my parents thought, or it just didn't matter. That was a number I was going to do. And I just did it. And I didn't stop. And I just went straight forward and I hit the number and I was done. Now, granted, I'm a little bit lighter today than I was when I finished writing the book. But that's just from, experience and still recognizing I had a little bit of extra reserves and they're not doing me any good, those reserves, right? And so I've, shed a few more pounds and I'll admit it, I feel amazing. I feel even better. That's why I always stress to everybody. I think your goals are beautiful. It's great, great, great. But don't be afraid to push to get those last 5 to 10 pounds off because those will make the most significant difference in terms of how you feel. Yeah, we all have sort of an idea of, I'd love to be, this weight. It's perfect. But trust me, fat is an inflammatory tissue. It's a endocrine tissue. It literally secretes hormones. So even a little bit of that extra endocrine tissue is cranking out hormones that have a sort of a cascade effect throughout the entire body. But when you get rid of that last little excess bit of endocrine tissue, oh my goodness, do you feel different? You think different. Just everything is working for you. So I really am going to push people to go all the way to their goal, which takes me back to you, Sharon. Your goal, I think maybe is like maybe 120 or right around there. Am I about right?
I have to be truthful. I have been down at 115 pounds
Okay.
and I felt great, but maybe I'm trying to. I get a little bit nervous when I got down to 126 about a year ago.
Why?
Mainly because I was looking thin and I didn't want people to notice it.
Fair enough. Now that's a given. I don't want you to be afraid of it. I mean, that's an automatic. You're
Right.
already a thin person. So when you lose more weight, it's going to show. You have to be comfortable with that. Remember this though, our ultimate sort of criteria for when you're done stopping is when the fat around the belly is gone. When you can no longer pinch fat around the belly, you're done. Whatever that number is. So at 126, you'll know whether you had extra reserves around the stomach or not. If you did, I'm okay with you pushing it down. I mean, I know you felt really, really good at 115. Here's the bottom line. We don't know when the inflection point is. We think it's around a BMI somewhere between maybe 15, maybe even a little bit lower. It's something really, really low. We don't know where that point exactly is because we haven't done the studies. So we're very comfortable. For sure, down to 18.5 is safe. We all know that, right? 18.5 to 25, and that's the normal BMI range. Studies published by Dr. Charoche in the New England Journal in April of 2011 showed that men were healthiest with the BMI down to 16. So that drops that 18.5 down quite a bit. And then that would imply that women would be healthiest a little bit lighter than that because, men have a little bit more muscle mass, et cetera. But again, because the exact question and study hasn't been done to answer that question, because the exact question hasn't been asked, and the study done to answer exactly that question, I can't say for sure that that 126 is right for you or 115 is right for you. This is going to be up to you a little bit to decide. But for sure, if you've got a significant amount of fat that you can pinch around the belly, and I say more than an inch is way too much for me. I mean, you want to be under an inch. But if you get down to about here, maybe about half an inch, quarter of an inch, you're done. You're good. And you still even have that. I mean, you couldn't sleep that rim off in the middle of the night or in between meals. So you still have plenty to live off of. Okay. Shelley, did you have a question?
No,
You're listening in.
What?
You're listening in. By the way, so let me ask you, since I see you, and I don't know if everybody else is the same, but Shelley sort of popped up on my screen. Is that the same thing with everybody else?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Shelley, back to you. Can you say something? Say hi.
Hi.
Good. So that popped you back up again. Maybe there was some noise or something that was picked up coming from your computer. So here, let me ask you this question. How are you doing so far?
I am slowly adjusting. I mean, I'm not going into it. I can't say that there's a day that I followed it exactly yet, and I wish I could.
No, that's okay. But part of it is just learning. It's experience.
Yeah.
It's getting your feet wet, as I say. And it's hard to do it right from the beginning. It is. But I'm okay with you sort of dabbling with the program. Some days you might come really, really close. Other meals not so good. But in the end, this is gonna become natural. You're gonna pick up the pace. You're gonna settle into a routine and all of a sudden you're gonna wonder, I wonder what I was afraid about before. This is just so easy. What in the world was holding me back? So I can't wait. I get really excited when I think about that happening for each and every one of you. Wow, look at the camera. I'm not sure why the camera went sort of a cool maroon red scarlet color. Was that you, Sharon? Oh, okay.
No.
No. Okay. So, but I think we're doing good. Shelley, going back to you, how much weight have you lost so far?
11 pounds.
That's really good. What do you think? I mean, are you happy with that?
Well, I wish it was faster, but I'm not gaining. I am losing, and that makes me feel okay.
Okay, so I'm okay with that too. First of all, what other diet program out there are you going to lose 11 pounds in as short a period of time as you already have with this?
5 pounds maybe, but not
Yeah,
11.
right. Not 11, number one. Number two, my question, I'm sorry.
If I were to follow it the way you say, I'm sure I would lose a lot more.
Absolutely, which is exciting because you can see the potential. What's
Yeah,
that?
but I haven't done it yet, so I don't know if I believe it can happen.
But you can see the potential, and that's what makes it so exciting and keeps you going, right? It's like having a carrot in front of you, and you're constantly going after that carrot because you know what it's going to taste like, and And that's the potential that we're living up to. It's really exciting when you think about it, or can live up to.
Mhm.
But let me ask you this. Even though you've only lost, you say only, which is fine. I mean, it could be more, but it's still good. Even though you've lost 11 pounds to this point, has it been in a way that you felt comfortable? Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
starving,
No. Mm-mm.
first and foremost? So in other words, even if all you did was lose 11 pounds every, say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, from here through to the finish line, would you be comfortable with that?
Yeah, as long as I'm losing and not, I don't care.
That's it. And if
Yeah.
you're eating the amount that you're eating right now, even though it's not as much as I want you to, which is even less, it's
Mhm.
absolutely going to get you to your goal. So now all I'm asking you to do is just be willing to sit back, continue exactly as you are, following the same routine, and be comfortable eating the small amount that you are, drinking things that hopefully are free of carbon, and just let the process happen, right? We just need to bide our time between now and that point when we are truly living an exceptionally, truly extraordinarily healthy life. It's just amazing. And when you really, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. I mean, before it was a fantasy, but now I can see that this is actually becoming a reality, and I'm really, really excited. And you'll just walk through the entire day giddy, like you've got this secret the rest of the world's been looking for. And I can't wait. For everybody, it's different when exactly that point hits, but it's really neat to see. And I know it's going to happen, and I'm really excited for you. The key thing is this. First and foremost, you have to want up here to get to your goal. As long as you do, and as long as you follow my program as close as you possibly can, it's going to happen. And it's really exciting then. It's just a matter of time.
I had that strong desire when I start out.
Okay.
And that seems that strong desire gets gone, and I don't remember why I wanted to lose weight so bad.
And maybe I can help you with that a little bit. Part of the reason is because you've already done so well. So what'll happen is let's say you lose another 9 pounds and you're down 20 pounds.
Uh-huh.
20 pounds on your frame is a significant difference. And people see it, and you feel it, and everybody's commenting about it. And
Yeah.
you feel like I've arrived. I accomplished my goal. My goal was to look better and to feel better, and I've done just that, and everyone notices, and I'm done.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm just going to kick back, and I'm going to stay here for a while. So you start eating more, thinking that that's going to keep you there. And it turns out that the more actually is a little bit more than just a little more. And next thing you know is you're putting the weight back on. Here's my point. This is why I really want each of you to have in mind a clear goal, a numbered goal. And I want you to push all the way through till you get that goal, even though you are going to feel better every step of the way. And there will be many times when you'll feel like you're just simply done. I need you to fight through. I need you to keep pushing the envelope, because we're not truly done until we're done. When we are truly done, I want you to go out and have one of the greatest meals of your life and eat till your heart's delight. But
We won't be able to eat much.
well, you may not, but that's neither here nor there. But I really want you to push all the way through to the finish line, because if you decide that you're going to stop for a little while and plateau, it's hard sometimes to get the ball rolling again. And in the end, for sure, it will take you much longer to get to the goal if you do than had you stayed focused and pushed really hard all the way through the first time.
Yeah.
So that's my advice. I mean, that's the problem, is that we just lose concentration, we lose focus. And so remember what I said in the book, right? There's a few obstacles that we have to overcome. Number one is getting over a few days of being hungry. And even though you're still not there yet because you haven't really done the diet full force like I have imagined, or the way I've spelled it out, you've gotten your feet wet in that regard, and you certainly understand what it feels like to set your hunger stat. So great, we're mostly over that first obstacle. And the second obstacle is to avoid the social pressures that we all have to deal with on a daily basis. You'll figure out your own ways of dealing with it. Just internally understand that no one can prevent you from getting to your goal. This is all about you and your life, right? And enjoy life with everybody else. Go out to these wonderful buffets and sit there and partake in the conversation. But no one is holding a gun to your head and forcing you to eat food that you don't want to eat. But the third and probably most difficult obstacle to overcome is that of staying focused. Because just like we've been talking about, you do as well as you've been doing, all of a sudden you feel like, even though you're not at your goal, you feel like you've done it.
Right.
you feel so accomplished already, and you just want to kick back and enjoy it for a little bit. But I don't want you to. I want you to keep pushing, even though it might be a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit disconcerting. I still want you to keep pushing, even though internally you're like, I want to give it a break.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, that's sort of my.
Exactly right. Yeah, that is. That's kind of today. I think I just got so busy at work. I got stressed and I get overly tired. And I want to get to that place where if I lose weight, I know I'm not going to get that tired.
So let me ask you, today at work, did you eat more because of that?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's just like I wasn't even
thinking about it. It just happened.
remember what I ate.
That's right. That's exactly. You don't even remember what it was, but you just know that you had something to eat. Well, you have to understand that we're trying to unlearn, 50 years of habits that are built up inside of you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
In what? Just a week or two? I mean, this is a dramatic change from what your body's used to.
Right.
So I understand that it's not going to be smooth sailing all the way through, and you're going to do great for a while, and then be days like today when you sort of fall off a little bit. I'm okay with that. Let me just make this recommendation. If you get to that point where you're tired and you're exhausted, and you feel like you just need something, go pour yourself a cup of coffee. Do you drink coffee? You a coffee person?
I hate coffee.
Why?
I never learned to like it.
Okay,
I love iced tea, but
it tastes awful.
Very good. I like that. Okay, so let me go back to you, Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say something?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just so I can look at you. Well, that's okay. I can see you up there in the corner.
Okay.
So let me go back to you here. Okay. When you were a kid and you had something like strep throat, they gave you some amoxicillin, and way back then, at least when I was a kid, it didn't taste very good, but you took it anyway, right? Do you remember the taste of that medicine? It wasn't very good.
Yeah. Same way with beer. I didn't like it at first.
That's right. I want you to realize that coffee is no different than medicine we have to give to our kids. It doesn't
That's a way of thinking, because everybody's told you it's bad for you.
Oh, no. If anything, it's good for you.
Or they told me that. I guess I've heard that I drink too much coffee, or
there's some studies out there. I'm gonna probably publish it, but there's some studies out there that show, at least in people who drink 6 or more cups of coffee a day, it prevents cancer. So,
really?
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to drink that much, but there's a definite benefit to drinking the coffee.
Okay.
Many people will, attribute it to some of the contents of what's in the coffee bean. I don't know, the riboflavins or the carcinoids or whatever they are. I think that it's because the coffee suppresses your appetite. And we definitely know that as you lose weight, you reduce your risk for cancer. So I'm not sure, exactly what the cause and effect is there. That's that's what I perceive. But we definitely know this: coffee is good for you. So let's continue to use it. Now, granted, there might be, some adverse or unwanted effects, like your heart's racing too fast, or you can't sleep at night. And then you have to sort of titrate the amount that you're taking in to adjust for those symptoms. But at least for now, I really want that in, because one of the best effects of coffee is it kills your appetite. It'll just stop it. So if you're feeling a little tired, a little fatigued, maybe a little bit hungry, going and holding your nose, and then taking down a cup of coffee might be one of the greatest ways of getting over the hump. Setting your hunger stat precisely that 5 bites, and then going with it.
Okay, well, what's the best kind to try, you think?
It doesn't have anything. But you can have, like, even the flavored coffees, as long as it's the flavored coffee bean. I don't want any syrup added or any sugar added. So none of these lattes or mochas or anything like that. No. Just black coffee. But I know, for example, the Keurig system, by the way, here we go. That's what I'm sipping on every now and then. You'll see it. It's a great coffee. It's
I put some sweetener in it, and I don't make it very strong.
See, I just love the aroma of the coffee. It's just wonderful.
Yeah,
the smell of it, and for me, the taste. I can love the taste, and
See, I love this.
What is that there?
A cafetiere.
What is it?
This is Starbucks coffee.
It is coffee.
I love coffee.
Yeah,
I do.
great. Then just live off that. Be content with getting what you're craving, which is coffee at the moment, and do that all the way through to the finish line. So this is my thing. I mean, we all like to have our go-to foods or our go-to things that we just crave. If it's coffee, brilliant, because you can get all you want, and as soon as you're done, you're done. If it's food, you're limited. You're limited to 5 bites at a particular meal. If you want to have that thing for your meal, though, okay. But when you've had your 5 bites, you're done.
Yeah.
Coffee is nice in that I don't limit it at all, as long as you keep it black and you keep the carbon out of it. I mean, there's carbon in it, no doubt. I mean, but keep the additional carbon and sugar out and sweeteners, all that other kind of stuff. Try and keep all that away. Then you can drink as much as you want.
Okay.
So, and even if it doesn't taste good, maybe try it maybe a little bit. Maybe I just can encourage you to give it another shot, and you might develop a flavor for it. You might. It's really
Starbucks makes the best coffee, huh? So maybe if I should try Starbucks coffee, I might.
You know what? And here's the other thing. I mean, I happen to like Starbucks too, but I've also found that different coffee places have different flavored coffees. And I think when you get into coffee, you'll really learn to appreciate the fine nuances in various flavors. And you'll have particular coffee beans that you like versus others. And that's, yeah, I mean, I just say get out there and experiment a little bit and try them. And every time you do, it's good, because the end result is you're getting a little bit of that extra caffeine in that's, upping your epinephrine a little bit, getting your metabolism going a little bit faster, suppressing your appetite. It's all good. And the end result is, once you are perfect in your physique, when you've maximized your health, you look like a movie star, you feel like a professional athlete, and you know that you're going to live longer than you have before. At that point, you can stop the coffee and do whatever you want at that point, because you now have control. But at least to get to that point, let's get there quickly. Make coffee your friend.
Well, maybe if I can learn to like that instead of diet soda, I mean, that would be.
You get a much bigger bang for your buck with coffee than you do with diet soda. Is there caffeine in diet soda? Yes, but it's relatively minimal, and a lot of salt and things like that, so your body holds on to water. I'm not a huge fan of the diet sodas. They're okay. They are supposedly 0 calories. They're not quite 0. But, I found that people who down large amounts of the diet sodas do tend to gain weight, or at least refrain from losing more weight.
I think it retains water, that's for sure, because the days that I drink I always drink diet root beer.
Right.
I can't drink Pepsi or Coke. I have blood in my
Root beer has I think I wrote to you actually, but root beer has no caffeine in it. So it's a pointless, in my opinion. So, and
that's what I've been told, is stay away from caffeine,
No, caffeine's good. But because you love the flavor of a diet root beer, if even along this journey, you've just got to wet your whistle a little bit with a root beer because you love that flavor, fine. Go pop a can, take a sip.
Right.
Don't finish it. You just had it. You've just satisfied your craving for flavor for that root beer. You've done it. Dump the rest down, have a cup of water, have some coffee.
Yeah. Okay.
There's nothing, by the way, it's not no one's going to arrest you or write you a ticket for throwing food away or, dumping the remaining part of your soda down the sink. It's all good. And the more we can delegate those unbroken carbon bonds back to the circle of life, back to nature, the trash, for example, where it then ends up at the processing plant and can be used by bacteria and maybe small insects and small animals and other players in the circle of life. The more we can do that instead of eating it, where it's completely wasted and removed from the circle of life, the better. Yeah, only by eating food does it truly become wasted. Okay?
Yeah, I went out to lunch with 13 people on Mother's Day, and I could not believe the amount of food they put away.
It's amazing sometimes, isn't it?
I ordered sliders, and it comes with 3 and 1.
For sure.
And everybody else had platters of fries and ribs, and I'm like, how the heck did I ever eat that much?
But also, don't you feel special in a way that you aren't forced, or you're not compelled to have to eat as much as they are? And when you sit back and look at it, you realize, oh my gosh, look at all this food everyone's eating, and yet 2 hours from now, we're all going to remember the same food. We're going to remember the same flavors. We're going to still have the same flavors lingering in our mouths. The difference is that I took in a fraction of the amount that they did, and now think about how much longer it's going to take for them to burn just that off.
Right.
I mean, it's like a little secret that we're all in on. As a little gang or as a little group here, this is exciting. This is really fun. This is a great opportunity. And I love the fact that we come here to work together to talk through these things. And then as a group, we can do something that is absolutely spectacular and extraordinary. This is our little secret. And I want each and every person here to go all the way through to perfection. I just want to go all the way down. And it's so great when we get there. I think, Sharon, you're probably the closest there. I mean, you look like you can. What's that?
I've never had a diet program with so much support before. Thank you.
Great. Oh, absolutely. No, this is what I do. This is my passion. This is what I do. And I will do anything I can to help get you all the way through to the finish line.
Okay.
You know, I'm not content with, 15 pounds off, 25 pounds off, 30 pounds, whatever. We're going to go all the way with this, and then we're done. And then it's your turn to get out there and inspire others to do the same.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Sure will. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I've talked to Sharon. Let me go back to you, Sharon. Are you going to do it? I mean, how long is your husband out of town for?
I am. Tomorrow.
He comes back tomorrow?
But I'm not, honestly, Dr. Lewis, I am very focused now. I am.
Then let's make it so.
Yeah, I can't carry on struggling like this. I've had enough.
The thing about the diet is it gives you perfect control.
It does.
You can't play that control game, the one that you are playing, until we first hit the finish line. So once you're there, then you can go up and down at your will. But I really want you, if you want to, I really want to get you to that finish line first. Here's the thing with me. You're so close. I mean, you can taste the finish line. What are you waiting for, right? So let's just do it. You've had a Snickers so far for lunch. First of all, it's probably like, it's not midnight, but okay, it's coming up on 10 o'clock where you live. You already had your dinner, right? Which was a Snickers?
I didn't have lunch, I just had coffee.
Okay.
And I did yoga after work, and then I just literally came in half an hour ago and I had one of these.
Perfect. Are you
so
hungry?
that's all I've had, and I'm not hungry.
See, that's it. If you're not hungry, then why eat?
Exactly.
What's the point, right?
I know.
So yeah, please, let's just continue to live off this carbon, which is very similar to the one that says Snickers on it, except that this around our waist is, I want you to remember this, is cranking out these interleukins, IL-1, IL-6, TNF-alpha, and these things are absolutely shortening your lifespan. So live off of what's stored around our midsection before we start putting carbon back in this way.
That is basically where it is. It's around my stomach, and when I've overeaten, that's where it goes. So my arms, I don't want it, they shouldn't get any thinner.
That's right. If they're thin, they're thin. They're not going to get thinner.
But I know when I do your diet to the book, it comes off 2 pounds a day.
Yeah, perfect.
And that's to the truth. I'm not, 2 Snickers, coffee, it drops 2 pounds a day.
That's right. That's exactly right. And you're already light. I mean, so you can imagine, when you're carrying a few extra pounds, what your potential weight loss is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Sharon, can we just do this? Let's just do it.
Right.
Remember this though, when your husband comes back and you sit down to eat, you can eat anything, but please stop at bite number 5. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll put it on a smaller plate. I'll move my food around. He won't even notice.
But why not let him know? Let him in on it. Does he think that's a problem?
Oh, yes, he does. Because I told my dentist he's lost a lot of weight doing this, and he feels I shouldn't be losing weight. So
your dentist feels you shouldn't be losing weight.
No, my husband, because my dentist read your book, and I bought him the book. He thinks it's fantastic. And he keeps saying, thank you, Sharon, so much for introducing me to the 5-Bite. And when my husband came in for his dental appointment, he goes, Sam, I have to tell you, that 5-Bite diet is phenomenal. And Sam goes, don't talk to me about that, because he saw my book.
Well, here's the thing, okay? My feeling, and I don't know the dynamics between you and your husband or your own thing, and that's might be, it's one of the hardest things to overcome, by the way, for all of you people listening. One of the hardest things to deal with is your spouse or your partner. Extremely hard sometimes, because particularly when one doesn't quite understand what you're doing, and it's just hard. It's a struggle. And those are the people that you eat around the most. But here's my feeling. I'm just going to tell you what I think. I think you should let him know that you're going to go. You just let him know exactly what the game plan is. I'm going to lose 10 pounds, let's say. I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to do this for me. I feel so alive and so good when I get those 10 pounds off. I've been lower before. but I definitely going to go 10 pounds, and I'm just going to do the diet, and it is what it is. That's it, done. And I think he'll appreciate the determination and the commitment more than than most things. I don't know, but I can't speak to him. Let me ask you this: is he overweight?
Yeah, not hugely. He's like 185 pounds,
And how tall is he?
6'1".
So he's got a little bit of an extra rim.
Yeah, oh, he has.
And here's my thing. People don't truly understand what we're talking about here until, again, they get that last segment of weight off. So he's not fully going to understand. I think maybe for him, just to sort of help him understand that you're in control, is to go ahead, push all the way through to the finish line, but then stop and maintain that weight. So that with time, it's been out now a month or maybe 2 months, he can see not only did you get to your weight, but you didn't go below that. I mean, you've been able to maintain it perfectly. He'll say, okay, now I understand it. But he'll also see in you this new excitement in life, this new sense of energy and just loving life. And that hopefully will propel him to do the same and say, okay, whatever this program is, obviously it does work. And then he can do it. Also emphasize the fact that this is just very temporary, but it gives you control, the control that we need to get the job done. Right. Okay. So
absolutely.
My little sign came up on my computer, and I probably did for all the rest of you, right?
Yes.
Showing that we're limited. So there we go. Let me ask you. I mean, let me see. Is there anybody else here? Oh my gosh. There's like more people here. There's a lot of people here. I think a bunch of other. If we scroll across the top. So anyway, welcome everybody. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Who's this? Who's speaking?
Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
You see me?
I think so. I'm surprised that your camera hasn't come to the forefront, because usually automatically it does that. But go ahead. What's your question?
And everyone else. So I had emailed. Now you can.
Yeah.
I updated my weight yesterday, and
Okay.
you emailed me today.
Okay.
I just saw that because I've lost. It's beginning of the third week.
Okay.
Today, and I've lost. I think it was 11 pounds or 12 pounds in 2 weeks.
Brilliant.
Not great. I don't think it's great because I'm doing just Snickers the first week. You said that maybe I had eaten, my bites were too big. Suggested that I just do the Snickers.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Okay.
So I'm discouraged. Again, I know better than any other diet I'm losing well, so that's good. But I still would have expected to see more this week.
So would I have. And there's a lot of things. And there's so many things, so many things that could be going on. Eating is something that we do subconsciously. We'll do it without even being aware that we're doing it. So that's number one. And carbon is in everything except for pure water. So it just finds a way to seep into our body. We've got to be careful about that.
So I stopped drinking seltzer water because I had said that so I just drink 1 cup of black coffee in the morning because I have trouble sleeping if I drink more than that.
Okay.
And water.
And then let me ask you, I mean, we sort of talked about this at the beginning with I can't remember whether it was Sharon or whether it was Shelley, thank you. It might have been Shelley. But my question to you, are you hungry? That's my first question, I guess.
No.
Okay, good. And the answer should definitely be no. And the reason is because you're eating a set volume. You've been doing Snickers, is that right?
Yeah, since this past week. Except for one day I had a poached egg, which was less than 5 bites.
Okay, maybe you say that. But I mean, you just got to count your bites, right? But
right.
it probably
4 bites to eat it. It was 1 egg, 1 poached egg.
You're right. I mean, that's going to be less than 5 bites. But as long as we're keeping the volume that we're eating constant, you're not going to be hungry. So that makes the program sustainable, manageable. And as long as you're losing weight at the rate that you currently are, we are going to get to the finish line. So it's just a matter of, can you hang on? And I guess my question is this: if you're not starving to death, why not? Why not just keep going? Right?
I'm not starving to death, and I'm not starving to death. I'm not hungry, but it's not something I'm loving doing. I'm loving that I'm losing weight. So I'm not starving, I'm not like white knuckling it.
Right.
But I also wouldn't go out with people that I go out with and put myself in a situation where I want to eat. So it is.
Because you feel like you wouldn't have control if you were to do that.
I guess I'm learning a lot psychologically, you know, that it's not just about the company, that I did enjoy going out and eating, you know, so I guess I just don't feel like it.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to
As long
eat.
as you
So,
don't feel, I'm good with that. Whatever it takes to get the job done, I'm totally thrilled with. And if it's easier for you to stay away from social environments, great, then do it. But I also I'm looking forward to the time when a few things happen. Number one, you become really comfortable eating with whomever, and you love the food there and eating exactly what you want to, but you also have perfect control in that all you really need is to take a bite of certain things and you're good, you're satisfied. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to the time when throwing food away becomes second nature. It's not even a thought that you contemplate. It's not, there's no dilemma. You're finished, you're done, it all goes in the trash. You don't even feel the least bit of guilt associated with throwing food away. I don't know how you are now. Do you feel a little bit guilty about throwing food away? Or do you feel like you want to take that last bite off the plate before you wash the plate or something like that?
no, I don't care about that.
Good.
And I live with a bunch of seagulls anyway, but nothing gets, somebody would eat whatever I don't eat. That's not a problem. But
That's perfect.
if they didn't, I wouldn't care. Yeah, I have a compost pile, so I don't care about that. Yeah.
Okay, so all that sounds good. And at some point, I'd like you just for the experiment or just for the experience, maybe go and get a banana. Good food, right?
Yeah.
Good. It's got some good things in it.
I did the first week I did that. I ate banana.
Take a bite of a banana, and then take the rest of the banana and throw it away, because frankly, you just had it. And every other bite of the banana is the same. And I want you to feel comfortable doing that. It's not wasting it. That carbon will get reused in the circle of life once again.
Right.
There's no point in finishing it. I just want you to have the comfort of being able to do that. I can remember a couple years ago going through the doctor's lounge, and I would sit there and I'd have little, whatever the main entree was. I might have a little bit of side salad, whatever. I'd pick up an apple and I'd take a bite of it and say, oh, that's a good apple. And I'd do away with the apple. And then I would get a banana and peel a banana and take a bite of a banana and throw that away. The point is you can. There's no law against doing that. Not throwing food away. I mean, this sounds crazy. And it's such a wild experiment to do because it just seems so wrong. But yet at the same time, it's so right. And what it's giving you is the ability to go ahead and taste food that's there, but then not feel the least bit compelled to have to finish it because you picked it up or whatever, or you bought it, whatever. Just taste it. That's your whole purpose. That's the purpose in eating, is to get the flavor in, get the experience in, to fill up at the same time, which we're going to do by setting our hunger stat to those just 5 bites, and be done with it, right? So,
That's great. I need to do that.
I want you to become comfortable, even in large social situations, to practice this, just to have fun, and especially with all the smells and flavors and all the good food going around. It's neat to still only eat your 5 bites. It's the sense of empowerment, the sense that you've got the secret that the rest of the world's looking for, and only you and a few of us here are in on the secret. But let's make use of it. I mean, this is a tremendous opportunity.
So have you, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
So have you ever had somebody though? I'm hoping that at some point, I feel like a thermostat, it's stuck or something. So I'm waiting to get on the scale and like Sharon,
Right.
pounds or even a full pound and not like 3/4 of a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when I'm doing just Snickers. I thought this week would be so much different. Last week
There's a couple things. There's a lot of reasons why the weight on the scale might not be going down. A big thing is water, right? Because water is heavy. It doesn't contain any carbon, but water fluctuations will definitely affect the reading on the scale. So that might be an issue. I don't know. I always ask people how often they're going to the bathroom, and you don't need to answer this, but I expect that if people are doing the diet perfectly, they'll have a bowel movement about once a week. If they're doing it more often than that, they're getting the extra bites in somehow, and the question is how. So you've got to figure that out. But if you're doing the diet perfectly, it should be about once a week. Okay, sometimes even less than that.
So it's been 3 times since I started this is starting my 3rd week.
So you're
So
going
one
to
time this past week and twice the time before.
Then
So I think that's right
then
this
my-
week.
then my feeling is you were doing things perfectly. Now you might have what we call a very exceptionally efficient metabolism. So your body has no waste energy. It uses absolutely every carbon atom perfectly.